So in 5.4 notes, we're going to go ahead and do the formal proof. Okay, so in this class, we're going to call them all 4-step proofs. You'll notice I always have 4 lines. The order doesn't matter except for the last line. The last line must be the conclusion that one triangle is congruent to another triangle by one of our 5 ways that triangles can be congruent to one another. Okay, so following with our color coding like we were doing when we first started these, okay, giving you a piece of information and you coming up with a conclusion, I'm going to follow the same thing, right? So segment AE bisects segment BD. All right, so if AE is cutting through the middle, it's the knife, BD is the bread, then you're saying that these two pieces are equal to one another. So again, I like to circle, mark it in the picture, and immediately make the statement. Okay, we're used to saying segment BC equals segment CD. And yes, you need to be using all of your symbols. Okay, going back and practicing. Now that's where you were yesterday. In a proof, you have to have a reason to back it up. So it's writing sentences. We can't be lazy, okay, but most of them are pretty straightforward. The next word you would say is because. I'm fine with you saying B/C for because. The because, guys, is exactly what was written. It's just, you just need to write that. The because statement is because segment AE bisects segment BD. Your first step is done. All right, I need another piece of information. So again, I always look for what's given. I'll go to red. Here's my next one. This one's a gift, right? That's what Ms. Barber calls a gift because it's told to us. So I just go to the picture and mark it. Angle B equals angle D. Immediately write it. Angle B equals angle D. And our reason is given. Okay, literally, we just write given because it was a statement that had an equal sign. So you will only do that when it was an equal sign, meaning over here, that they flat out just told you. Okay, so you'll mark it in the picture, you write it down here, and you say given. You don't have to say anything else about it. All right, next I need another piece of information. I don't have any more given to me up here, and therefore I have to come up with something on my own. Remember, we're going to look a lot for shared sides if two triangles are together, and you're going to separate them. So shared sides and vertical angles. So if I'm looking at this as triangle 1 and triangle 2, right? Right now, if I was looking at those separately, I notice that they have vertical angles that are equal, of course. So I can mark this angle equals this angle. Remember, we cannot call those angles C because C is a point right there. I wouldn't know which of the 4 angles you were talking about. Okay, so we have to use our good method of 3 letters. So this top angle is called angle ACB equals this one could be called angle ECD. And we can't forget the because. And we're going to simply say because, B/C, because of vertical angles. Okay, and I'm fine with you just abbreviating the symbols because you want them to fit on one line for you. So vertical angles. You can even say vertical angles are equal. All right, but that's enough for me. And now we need to see if we have a conclusion of why these would be congruent triangles. So for my conclusion, I'm seeing an angle, a side, and then an angle. ASA is one of my conclusions. So the first triangle, which is always the one that's more left or more upper, is alphabetical. Okay, just for us to be able to check our answers better. So triangle ABC is congruent, make sure you're using the right symbol, to triangle order matters. Look where A is. Okay, A is across from the purple mark, maybe you want to say it that way. So E is in the same place, so it's got to be E. From A to B, you would be going to that, okay? You also could just be going with the markings of the angles. So A, B, C, nothing, single mark, and then that mark, nothing, single mark, and then that mark. So E, D, C. That's the easiest way to do that one. Okay, but some of you are trying to figure out like how you do it when you don't have angles marked. And then you're just going to say by angle, side, angle. So ASA, and those are all capital letters. Every proof should look exactly like this. You have a conclusion, right, from the given information, and you say because of the information, because of the information, because of the information, and then a final by something. All right, so we're just going to keep practicing these. Here's the next one. Segment AC is cutting through an angle. It better be angles that are equal then. Here's AC cutting through DCB. So therefore, you're saying that this angle and this angle are congruent. This angle here is called angle ACD. Okay, forgot to circle that piece. And that is equal to angle ACB. Because that's as simple as rewriting this statement. Okay, segment AC bisects angle DCB. And now I'm ready for the next information. Circle it here. I love it. It's a gimme. So mark angle B and angle D the same. Say angle B equals angle D. And that one was a given because it had an equal sign. That's all you have to say for that. And now I'm out of information. Again, remember the things we said we would look for are vertical angles and shared sides. Well, there's no vertical angles in this picture, but you have to realize that if these are the two triangles, 1 and 2, and you were to take them and separate them, okay, then one of them would say A, C, D, and the other one separated would say A, C, B. So notice they both have side AC. It's literally the same line, the same side. Sometimes we call it reflexive. I don't care what you call it, but if you're noticing they both have side AC in them, that's where you see me put 2 marks, meaning it's in both triangles. That's all it means to me. So I'm going to say segment AC in the left triangle equals segment AC in the right triangle. And the reason is, you could say same line. You could say shared side, or you can say reflexive. I don't care, whichever you want to do. And now we need to see if we have enough information or if we need to find something else. My reason, well, I am seeing an angle, and then a side. So AAS is one of my reasons. The left triangle is the alphabetical one. So ACD, again, that's just to make it easier for you to check your answers, is congruent to, now the order matters. I'm just matching the markings. ACD, so nothing purple and then red, nothing purple and then red. So it's going to be triangle ACB by angle, side. All right, problem 3. Segment AB is parallel to DC. So again, guys, you're used to having like arrows given to you. This is just giving you the information without drawing those. And sometimes drawing those throws people off and you think it's a marking. That does not tell you they're equal. It only tells you parallel. So maybe you don't put those in there. I'll leave that up to you. The marking part of it is this. Because of those being parallel, I need to mark alternate interior angles equal. So the backward Z right here would tell me that angle A equals angle C. So I'm in purple still. From that information, angle A equals angle C. And it's because, literally that statement. You just write it the same with your symbols. Segment AB is parallel to segment BC. Okay? And likewise, if you go the other direction, here's a forward Z because of the parallel lines. You could also say, notice it's still purple for me. Same piece of information is giving me two things. So angle B equals angle D because, same reason, segment AB is parallel to segment DC. Okay, I'm ready for more information now. So different color. X is the midpoint of segment BD. Well, if X is in the middle of BD, then these two pieces are equal to one another. All right, so I'm ready to say this piece in the top triangle, segment BX, equals segment DX in the bottom triangle because, and you literally write that statement again. So you can say X is the midpoint. You can abbreviate a little bit, no more or less abbreviation than that. Mid PT. It's the midpoint of segment BD. All right, well, let's see if we have a conclusion. Is that enough? Well, this would be angle, then side. AAS is something that proves congruency. So the top triangle congruent, or in alphabetical order, would be ABX. It is congruent to triangle. Now the order matters. 1 mark, 2 marks, nothing. 1 mark, 2 marks, nothing. So CDX by angle, side. Okay, AAS. All right. Now, I will tell you, there are sometimes going to happen where you and a friend or you and Miss Berber will have different answers. And guess what? We could both be right. And here's an example of exactly how that could happen, that you and a friend could have a different work, but still both be correct. Let's say, for instance, real quickly, I just rewrote the problem, okay, down here. I'll do my color coding again just to show you what I mean. Let's say this was the piece of information you're given, but you only saw the backwards Z, right? It could have been the backwards or the forwards, but let's just go with this one. And so you come over here and you say angle A equals angle C because segment AB is parallel to segment DC. And let's say you moved on, right? You moved on and you went to the next piece of information. Okay, so you didn't pick up both things from the parallel lines. All right, well, in here, if X is in the middle, still these two pieces are going to be equal to one another. So you're still going to be stating the segment BX equals segment DX because, and again, you're restating X is the midpoint, mid PT of segment BD. Okay, well, now you're thinking, I'm out of information up here. Well, that's fine. You still have information that you know. You always know to look for shared sides or vertical angles. Well, guess what? These have vertical angles that are equal to one another. Okay. And if you state those, the top one would be angle AXB equals angle, the bottom one would be CXD. And that's because of vertical angles, which you can just use the symbol again. And now if you look at the picture, don't you again have angle, side? So your statement is still going to be angle, side, triangle ABX is congruent to triangle CDX, just following the symbols, and that's still by angle, angle, side. Now that's you guys getting the same conclusion with some different steps. And guess what? There's one more. So stop the video if you want to look at it this way. I'm just going to mark one other thing and say, what if from this statement, guys, you had taken the alternate, okay, from this statement, instead of taking the A equals C, let's say instead you had taken the B equals D. Well, now you would have had these marked. Okay, these wouldn't be there. And now look at your conclusion, right? If you do these two, the same statement here, and the vertical angles, don't you now have angle, side, angle? So your statement down here could say triangle ABX is congruent to triangle CDX. So notice still the same statement, but now it's by angle, side, angle. So now we have a different conclusion. Here's the biggest thing you take away from this. One, you can have different answers and both be correct. However, here's what does not make sense. I want your markings in your picture to go with your proof. Okay, so you literally should have only 3 things marked in your picture. They should go with your 3 statements. It does not make sense, for instance, in this picture, for you to have marked these 2 equal, these 2 equal, these equal, and these equal, because now you have 4 things in your picture. And you can't just pick and choose what's in your picture to come up with your final conclusion. Okay, so that's the only thing you need to keep in mind. All right, the last one. Let's try this out. Here we go. AE is perpendicular to DB. That's what that symbol should mean to you. So wherever AE meets DB should meet at right angles. And we want the right angles that are in the inside the triangles. Okay, literally all 4 of these would be right angles, right? Because there's a bunch of straight angles. All right, make your statement. The angle on the left would be angle ACB equals the angle on the right, angle DCE, and we need to be more specific. They both equal 90 degrees. Our because statement is exactly written what that says. Segment AE is perpendicular to segment DB. Okay, there we go. Next piece of information. Ooh, I love it. It's a gimme, right? It's a give me gift. Mark it first. AB equals DE. Make the statement. Segment AB equals segment DE. What's our reason when there's an equal sign? Just given. Simple as that. I need another piece of information. Here's AE bisects BD. AE is the knife cutting BD, the loaf of bread, in half. So if AE is cutting through BD, boom, 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 boom. Here's the pieces that are equal. So I'm going to say this segment BC equals segment CD because exactly what the statement said. Because segment AE bisects segment BD. Okay, and then I am ready to come up with a conclusion if it's possible. Let's see what's marked in here. I know when I have a right angle, and two right triangles, I'm going to check hypotenuse leg first. It's not always that, but the hypotenuse is the side across from the right angle. That is what's marked. And another side is called a leg. So this is the case of HL. So I'm ready to say triangle ABC because it's alphabetical, the one on the left. And now order matters. Here's A. It's the angle between the side with the red line and the side that's not marked. So the corresponding angle over here should be angle E, between the side with the red mark and the side that's not marked. So E corresponds to A. From A, if we go to B across the red line, then I have to go to from E across the red line to D. And by default, C is left. And that is by HL, hypotenuse leg. Okay, and there you have it. Keep practicing. Good luck.